Hey guys, coming from Rusty Audio Store, doing the hard rock and heavy metal community videos. And today I have a list here, and call it a cheating list. It's a list of what I consider to be top 50 drummers of hard rock, heavy metal, and some of them are maybe considered to be rock and roll drummers even. You know, it's sad. I'm getting old. I have to use reading glasses to see this unless I hold it way out there. And that just makes me look even more stupid. I know these glasses makes me look stupid enough. So let's just jump right into it without making this video too freaking long, okay? Some of these names are hard to pronounce, so bear with me here, okay? The first one is that type of name. Is a German, Ingo Switchenberg, I think it is. He was the first original drummer in Halloween. So if I pronounce it wrong, please forgive me. He's in spot 50. Then we move on to spot 49. And there I have Lars Ulrich. Yeah, he might be a good drummer, but on my list he's not higher up. Then in spot 48 we have Matt Sorum. And then in spot 47 we have Phil Rudd. Spot 46 I have Ricky Rocket from Poison. I know, people don't like Poison. I was not a big, huge fan of Poison myself. They had a couple of songs that was easy to listen to when you were driving the car. But he was one of the better musicians in Poison. He was a good drummer. Then in spot 45, we have Matt Cameron. And in 44 spot, I have Mike Mangini. I hope I said that correctly. In spot 43, I have Mickey D. Spot 42, I have Gary Holland. In spot 41, I have Chris Slade. So now we covered two of the AC/DC drummers. In spot 40, I have a drummer that maybe not too many have heard of, but some probably have heard of him. He's now playing with Lita Ford. His name is Bobby Rock. Excellent drummer. I saw him live last year, I think it was. Pound those drums like crazy. And in spot 39, I have Matt Thompson. In spot 38, I have Steven Adler. In spot 37, I have Daryl Sweet. And in spot 36, we have another guy with a different and difficult last name. He's from Poland. His name is Bobby Jarsolmbek. And then in spot 35, we have Scott Travis. In spot 34, I have Carmine Appice. In spot 33, I have Joey Kramer. In spot 32, I have Randy Castillo. In spot 31, I have Jason Rullo. And in spot 30, I have John Fowler, who sadly passed away some years ago. He was the drummer for Steelheart. In spot 29, I have Casey Grillo. In spot 28, I have Bill Ward. In spot 27, I have Rod Morgenstein. And in spot 26, I have Lee Kerslake from the original lineup of Uriah Heep. Excellent drummer. Spot 25, Nick Mensa. In spot 24, Rob Affuso. And now in spot 23, he is considered to be more of a session drummer, but he really deserves to be on this list. And in spot 23, we're talking about Anton Fig, who has done a lot of work with Kiss when Peter Criss couldn't do his job. So, and he did that job excellent. In spot 22, I have Scott Columbus. In spot 21, I have a drummer that is very often overlooked and not considered by many. And let me tell you, when I see these lists online, I'm a computer right here. There's a lot of metal pages online that do lists of vocalists, drummers, bassists, guitar players, all that stuff. And drummers, it doesn't matter what kind of musicians there are. These lists online are stupid because the guy here is never on any lists. A.J. Perro, who sadly passed away a few years ago, who used to play for Twisted Sister. So when I see these lists online, whoever makes those lists must be totally freaking idiot. Then in place 20, we come to the first Kiss drummer. And I'm not meaning the first one that was in Kiss, because let me tell you right away. Peter Criss is not on my list of top 50 because he's not good enough for that. He would have been on my list if I made a list of top 75, top 100, but top 50, he's not. But in spot 20, I have Eric Singer, and he's the first Kiss drummer on my list. In spot 19, I have Ian Pace, or Peace, or however you say it. In spot 18, I have Scott Rockenfield. In spot 17, I have Dave Lombardo. And in spot 16, I have Roger Taylor. So you see the list is starting to pick up momentum here now. Really good names. In spot 15, I have Rick Allen from Def Leppard. He absolutely deserves to be high up on the list. What he has done with one arm is amazing. And just the determination he have had and the struggles he had to overcome. Amazing drummer. In spot 14, I have Tommy Aldridge. In spot 13, I have Cozy Powell. In spot 12, I have Phil Taylor. And you might not agree with the list so far, maybe the order or stuff like that, but I mean, feel free to put your own list down below in the comment area. In spot 11, I have Herman Rarebell from previous lineup of Scorpions. Very, very good drummer. I want to say Scorpions was at their best when he was sitting behind the drum set. In spot 10, we come to a drummer that I think was the best drummer that Kiss ever had. And it was too sad that he passed away. And we're talking about Eric Carr. He's in spot 10. And now we are in the Big 10 here. In spot 9, we have John Bonham. In spot 8, we have Keith Moon. In number 7, I have put a drummer that is maybe not too well known by the vast majority of people. He's probably known by a few. But he's an excellent drummer, and he's played for many smaller bands and projects. And he's more kind of like a session drummer, but he's been in TNT. He played a little bit for with Jorn Lande. He was in Ark, with, of course, talking about John Macaluso. Excellent drummer from New York. He's been on countless albums and records. He's in spot 7. In spot 6, we are looking at Mike Portnoy. In spot 5, now it's getting really, really tight up here. We're talking about, there I have Vinny Appice. I mean, come on, he was with Dio, he has done a lot of stuff. Good freaking drummer. Spot 4, I have Tommy Lee of Motley Crue. Some of you might say, well, he shouldn't be that high up. Well, a lot of people say that because they don't like the music that Motley Crue did, or they don't like Motley Crue as a band. But if you isolate what Tommy Lee did in Motley Crue, I'm a big Motley Crue fan, so I'm okay with that. But if you isolate what Tommy Lee has done and what he did in Motley Crue, his drumming was very, very good. very tight, very technical, and I mean the sound of the drumming on Motley Crue records are awesome, and all the acrobatic things that he have added, all the stunts that he have added when they did live shows, spinning around sideways, going loops, doing all this kind of shit. Just added to it as a little spicy thing. So in my mind, he deserves to be up there. In spot number 3, Nico McBrain from Iron Maiden. I mean, he's in my mind easily top 3 drummers. Number 2, and the reason I say that, I have to kind of like extend that a little bit, okay? I'm gonna take these off because I look like a fucking fool. Why I say that is because if you look at Nico from Iron Maiden, he has a huge drum set, and he plays it so good. A lot of drummers, when they get a big drum set, it's like hit and mash and smash, and it doesn't sound very appealing. It doesn't sound very. It sounds very here and there and staccato, and it's very like broken up. And he's just using that huge drum set so fluidly and motionless. It's just like one big motion when he plays. He's very, very good at incorporating all the drums that he has, and he does it in a way that very few others can match and do, except for one person, and that person is number 2. In number 2 spot, we have Neil, and the last name is, people disagree on how to say it. I'll say it my way, the way I think it's said. Neil Peart, or Peart from Rush. He's the same type of drummer, okay? Huge drum set, huge setup, and it's almost like both him and Nico. It's almost like they are a whole orchestra by themselves, and they play it so good, and it's like one motion and one sound and one big atmosphere that sounds so good. So those are the 2 that really, really can kick ass on big drum sets with a lot of setup and a lot of gear, and they make it sound so good, and they're technical as hell. So Nico in 3rd and Neil in 2nd, and now I don't need the list anymore. First place, guys, takes us back to the first list of guitar players, because the first place in drummers goes to Stian Kristoffersen of Pagan's Mind. Yes, I know. I put Jorn-Viggo Lofstad from Pagan's Mind on first place for guitars, but this time I tell you, this is no coincidence. This is not because I'm a big fan of Pagan's Mind. Trust me, when I do bassists and vocalists and stuff like that, you will see it. But when it comes to drumming, trust me on this. If you want to find out what Stian Kristoffersen from Pagan's Mind is all about, I'll give you a few clues. I suggest that you look up Pagan's Mind catalog. Don't start with the first album. You can if you want to, but here's what I suggest you do. Here's my advice. Look up an album called Celestial Entrance. That's the first album you should listen to. It's a masterpiece from the whole band. The guitar, the bass, the keyboard, the vocals, the drumming, everything, the arrangement, the production, everything. Even the cover on the album. Perfect. Masterpiece. But when you put that on and you listen to it, listen to the drumming on every song. And I dare you to listen to every freaking song before you quit. Listen to every song on Celestial Entrance. And listen to the drumming. And keep in mind why I put him on first. Now, when you're done listening to Celestial Entrance, move on and listen to their other album called God's Equation. And listen to the drumming in there. That album is also a masterpiece when it comes to drumming, vocals, guitar, bass. keyboard, arrangement, everything. But listen to the drumming. When you're done with that, then move on to Heavenly Ecstasy album. It's also a masterpiece. Vocals, bass, guitar, drums, keyboard, everything. When you're done with that, then you can move on and listen to the other 4 or 5 albums that they have out there. Plus they have a few live things on YouTube and stuff like that. And Full Circle you can go and look at. It's a live DVD thing. But start with Celestial Entrance, and then move on to God's Equation, and then move on to Heavenly Ecstasy. And promise me that you'll listen to all those 3 albums from start to end. Listen to everything. I mean, enjoy the album, but pay attention to the freaking drumming. And pay attention to the guitars. And you will understand why I have picked both Jörn Viggo Lofstad and Stian Kristoffersen on my first 2 lists of top 50s. Top 50 guitars and top 50 drummers. Yes, I know, Pagan's Mind is fairly new. They came out in 2000, 2001. But that doesn't matter. And Stian Kristoffersen has also been in other projects. He has been involved with Jørn Lande. He also played guitars on his album called The Gathering, which is a fantastic album. Listen to the drumming there. So, just find out. Listen. See you next time.